Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. So continuing with the discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, 8th chapter, prayers by Queen Kunti and Parikshit saved. Text 20. तथा परम हंसानां मुनीनामलात्मनां भक्ति योग विधानार्थं कथं पश्येमहि स्त्रियः. You yourself descend to propagate the transcendental science of devotional service unto the hearts of the advanced transcendentalists and mental speculators who are purified by being able to discriminate between matter and spirit. How then can we women know you perfectly? So Kunti is taking a very humble position here. She is saying, you propagate the transcendental science of devotional service unto the hearts of advanced transcendentalists and mental speculators who can discriminate between matter and spirit. And she is doing so hard to conceive of. It's so difficult to figure out who you are. In the purport, Prabhupada writes, even the greatest philosophical speculators cannot have access to the region of the Lord. It is said in the Upanishads that the supreme truth, the absolute personality of Godhead, is beyond the range of the thinking power of the greatest philosopher. He is unknowable by the great learning or by the greatest brain. That's Krishna. That's what Krishna is. So basically, those people who say, I know Krishna, actually, they don't know anything about Krishna. Those who really know something about Krishna, they will definitely say, I know nothing about Krishna. Because Krishna is infinite, and not just infinite, his qualities, his powers, his energies, they're always increasing. There's no limit to that. That's what God is. There is no limit. In fact, it is said in Bhagavatam, heads, he memorial, 1% the glories of Krishna. Anand Shesha, how much knowledge, realizations he would have, and thousands of heads he has, and he's trying to glorify Krishna since times immemorial, and still he hasn't reached 1%. That is Krishna. So it's so difficult to understand him. And that's why his another name, like, so Adhokshaja word has also means eyes, but in I didn't go in trance, it kicked me out somehow. So Adhokshaja, I was trying to explain. So Aksh means the senses, Adh means below, and Ja means born of. So even the senses, wherever they can go, they always remain below Krishna. Cannot even imagine who he is. So that's why Prabhupada, he is unknowable by the great learning or by the greatest brain. He is knowable only by one who has his mercy. Others may go on thinking about him for years together, yet he is unknowable. This very fact is corroborated by the queen, who is playing the part of an innocent woman. Women in general, by the Lord, because they believe at once in the superiority and almightiness of the Lord, and thus offer obeisance without by the Lord, because they believe at once in the superiority and almightiness of the Lord, and they offer obeisances without reservation. This is this is the innocence of the heart of yes, supreme love, yes, supreme. No speculations, no arguments, no discussions. The men, on the other hand, because we are driven mostly by our brains than by our heart, we want to figure out why he is the supreme Lord. Why should I bow down to him? Why should I pay obeisances? Because we are proud of our uh, powers, or the strength, bodily strength, mental strength, whatever little bitty strength we got. We are very proud of it. And we think we can know everything. But ladies, on the other hand, they say, okay, he's the Lord, he's the Lord. We have to pay obeisances, we pay obeisances. That's it. And if they have a baby along with them, they'll say, okay, you also pay obeisances. The baby also does. That is the superiority actually. The Lord that he does not show special women assemble in great number in any sort of religious function. In every country and in every sect of religion, it appears that women are more interested than the men. This simplicity of acceptance of the Lord's authority is more effective showy in. So ladies would come to these places, any religious function, there will be more ladies than men because they are simple at heart. That's what Prabhupada is explaining. Of course, when we were discussing this point in our Bhagavatam class in Delhi, when we were discussing on Sundays, some men commented, well, they go to this religious function. The ladies go there so they don't have to cook at home. They go there, get the prasadam, and eat the prasadam, get prasadam for their husbands also. So they don't have to cook. That's why they go. But that's not the real reason, actually. There could be one of the reasons. I don't know. Text 21. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto the Lord, who has become the son of Vasudev, the pleasure of Devaki, the boy of Nanda, and the other cowherd men of Vrindavan, and the enlivener of the cows and the senses. So previously, Queen Kunti is saying, you are unapproachable by material senses. You cannot be known by your material senses. So only by person who is surrendered unto you can know you. So person who is surrendered, he will only, what will he do? He will pray. So this is what she's praying over here. The Lord being thus unapproachable by any material assets, out of unbounded and causeless mercy, descends on the earth as he is, in order to show his special mercy upon the unalloyed devotees and to diminish the upsurges of the demoniac persons. So he descends just to show his special mercy on his unalloyed devotees. This word will come again and again. Unalloyed. So alloy is when there are combination of two metals. That is called alloy. So unalloyed means no combination, no addition, uh, no impurity, nothing, pure. So that is unalloyed. Queen Kuntis. So unalloyed devotees means they don't go and worship anybody else. They don't do bhakti of anybody else except Krishna. Queen Kunti specifically adores the incarnation or descent of Lord Krishna above all other incarnations because in this particular incarnation, he is more approachable. As Krishna, when he appeared as Krishna, as Nandan Krishna, Yashoda Nandan Krishna, he was more approachable because he is so sweet. In the Rama incarnation, he remained a king's son from his very childhood. But in the incarnation of Krishna, although he was a son of a king, he at once left the shelter of his real father and mother, King Vasudeva and Queen Devaki, just after his appearance and went to the lap of Yashoda Mai to play the part of an ordinary cowherd boy in the blessed Vrajabhumi, which is very sanctified because of his childhood pastimes. And these childhood pastimes of Krishna are more sweet than any other pastimes of Krishna, actually. And there's another reason why these childhood pastimes are more sweet because he does not perform these pastimes in the spiritual world. In Golok Vrindavan, now there are two Vrindavan. You'll say, what do you mean two Vrindavan? There is one spiritual, which is called Golok Vrindavan. And on Bhoma Vrindavan, the Vrindavan on earth is called Gokul, actually. The Gokul word is not used for spiritual Vrindavan. That is called Golok Vrindavan. So Gokul or the Vrindavan or Bhaumya Vrindavan here, it's many times it is considered, although it's exact replica of the Golok Vrindavan, there's no difference. But many times Acharyas say this Vrindavan on earth is more superior to even the spiritual Vrindavan or Golok Vrindavan. Why? Because these pastimes, especially the childhood pastimes, his pastimes of taking birth, he does not enact those in Golok Vrindavan. Because over there he's always Nitya Kishore. He's always a Kishore, he's a cowherd boy. He's a young boy. He's not a baby over there. So these pastimes, that's why he likes to come to to Bhaumya Vrindavan, to earth, to perform these pastimes because he does not perform these over there. And his pastimes of killing the demons, he does not perform in Golok Vrindavan because there are no demons in the spiritual world. There are only rumors of demons, but there are no demons. Like rumors means just to enhance the sweetness of Krishna's pastimes, especially with gopis and the cowherd boys. He sends out rumors. Oh, this demon is there, and I'm going to kill him. And the boys really get excited about killing. Also, of course, there is no killing in spiritual world, but they get really excited. Yeah, we'll go. Or sometimes they spread rumors that Kansa is going to come from Mathura, he's going to send his soldiers. Of course, there is no Kansa in Mathura, in spiritual Mathura. But when they spread the rumors like that, and the gopis, they then they cry, "Oh Krishna, you don't go, you don't leave us. What will happen if you leave?" Then his relationships or his dealings with the gopis become more sweet. He enjoys those because gopis become very concerned about Krishna. So he likes that. So there's only rumors, but on earth there are real demons, and which goes and kill. So that's why these pastimes. Also, another reason Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, um, if he gives the example of a diamond. If a diamond is studded in a golden ornament, or if a diamond is studded in a black ornament, where would it look more beautiful? So then he answers obviously in a black ornament, because it will bring out the real glare or real show of diamond. So that's what Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur compares to the pastimes of Krishna are like diamond. But when they performed in the material world with the black background, they are more sweet. They look very, very majestical. Compared to his pastimes in the spiritual Golok Vrindavan, where everything is gold, everything is totally pure. So pastimes there, of course, they are sweet, they are diamond, but they look more majestical over here in the material world. So that's why he comes and performs his pastimes here. Had he not become the son of Vasudeva and Devaki, Queen Kunti could not claim him to be her nephew and thus address Krishna in parental affection. But Nanda and Yashoda are more fortunate because they could relish the Lord's childhood pastimes, which are more attractive than all other pastimes. So his childhood pastimes are really, really sweet. There is no parallel to his childhood pastimes as exhibited at Vrajbhumi, which are replicas of his eternal affairs in the original Krishna Loka, described as the Chintamani Dham in the Brahm Samhita. Lord Shri Krishna descended himself at Brajbhumi with all his transcendental entourage and paraphernalia. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu therefore confirmed that no one is as fortunate as the residents of Brajbhumi, and specifically the cowherd girls who dedicated their everything for the satisfaction of the Lord. His pastimes with Nanda and Yashoda, and his pastimes with the cowherd men, and especially with the cowherd boys and the cows, have caused him to be known as Govinda. Lord Krishna, as Govinda, is more inclined to the Brahmins and the cows, indicating thereby that human prosperity depends more on these two items, namely Brahminical culture and cow protection. Lord Krishna is never satisfied where these are lacking. So this is Krishna's special relationship with his devotees, and he is especially inclined towards Brahmins. Brahmins means his devotees and cows. So Prabhupada is saying, if these two are lacking, or even one is lacking, Krishna will never be satisfied there. And now, Queen Kunti, after offering this verse, she comes to this verse. Namaha Pankaja Nabhaya, Namaha Pankaja Maline, Namaha Pankaja Netraya, Namaste Pankajangrihe. So previous verse, Krishna Vasudevaya, Devaki Nandanaya cha, Nanda Gopakumaraya Govindaya, Namo Namaha. She is worshipping. But then Krishna became little, what do you say, embarrassed that why my Bua is worshipping me. That doesn't sound right. Actually, she is his Bua, his aunt. So then Queen Kunti, although she is respecting him as the Supreme Lord, but then she understands, oh, Krishna is getting embarrassed. So when she starts this verse, so she does not start with the lotus feet of Krishna. She starts with the lotus navel of Krishna. So Krishna does not feel more embarrassed. So she starts from Nama Pankaj Nabhaya, Nama Pankaj Maline. Then Nama Pankaj Netraya, then she goes to the eyes and then comes down, Nama Pankaj Angre. My respectful obeisances are unto you, O Lord, whose abdomen is marked with a depression like a lotus flower, who are always decorated with garlands of lotus flowers, whose glance is as cool as a lotus, and whose feet are engraved with the lotuses. I think we discussed this sometime, that why Krishna's everything is compared to a lotus flower. His feet, his abdomen, his glance is as cool as lotus, his eyes are as good as lotus leaves. Why lotus petals? I mean, why is it compared to always to a lotus? Of course, lotus is very nice flower. These days, we don't find fragrance in lotus, but original lotuses had lots of fragrance also. They look beautiful, yes. But another reason it is given somewhere that when Brahmaji appeared, he appeared on a lotus flower. So actually, lotus is not manufactured or made by Brahmaji. It was appeared before Brahmaji. So that's why they say lotus is not of the material world. Lotus flower. So that's why anything material cannot be compared to Krishna. So they say we compare. This lotus is not something that Brahmaji created, it is created by Krishna himself. So it can be compared to Krishna. In the Purport, Prabhupada writes, here are some of the specific symbolical marks on the spiritual body of the personality of Godhead, which distinguish his body from the bodies of all others. They are all special features of the body of the Lord. The Lord may appear as one of us, but is always distinct by his specific bodily features. Srimati Kunti claims herself unfit to see the Lord because of her being a woman. This is claimed because women Shudras and the Dvijabandhus, or the wretched descendants, are unfit by intelligence to understand transcendental subject matter concerning the Supreme Lord. But then, Prabhupada, of course, he goes into long purport. Um, because such fallen souls cannot see anything beyond matter, the Lord condescends to enter into each and every one of the innumerable universes as a Garbhodaksha Vishnu, who grows a lotus stem from the lotus-like depression in the center of his transcendental abdomen. And thus Brahma, the first living being in the universe, is born. Therefore the Lord is known as Pankaj Nabhi, because the lotus grows out of his lotus-like depression in the abdomen. The Pankaj Nabhi Lord accepts a Archa Vigraha in different elements, namely a form within the mind, a form made of wood, form made of earth, form made of metal, form made of jewel, form made of paint, form drawn on sand, etc. All these forms, so there are 7 forms, 7 Archa Vigrahas that can be worshipped. In the mind, made by wood, made by earth, made by metal, made by jewel, made by paint, or made on sand. Like in Jagannath Puri, it's very popular to make the form of the Lord on sand and worship him. All such forms of the Lord are always decorated with the garlands of lotus flowers, and there should be a soothing atmosphere in the temple of worship to attract the burning attention of the non-devotees, always engaged in material wranglings. So, also why he wears this garland of lotus flowers is to basically to tell us also to become like lotus. Lotus flower, a special quality of lotus is that although it grows in mud, in very dirty place, but it never touches the mud. It grows in the kichad, what is called kichad actually. It never touches that. It's always 1 or 2 inches above the surface of water there. So we should be like lotus, like we can be in the material world, but not of the material world. That's a devotee's like. One should begin to see the Lord from his lotus feet, gradually rising to the thighs. I mean, this is a way to see the deity form of the Lord. Gradually rising to the thighs, waist, chest, and then face. One should not try to look at the face of the Lord without being accustomed to seeing the lotus feet of the Lord. Srimati Kunti, because of her being the aunt of the Lord, did not begin to see the Lord from the lotus feet because the Lord might feel ashamed. And thus Kunti Devi, just to save a painful situation for the Lord, began to see the Lord just above his lotus feet, that is, from the waist of the Lord, gradually rising to the face and then down to the lotus feet. In the round, everything there is in order. So this is Queen Kunti's realization, but we should start from the lotus feet of the Lord and then go to the face. So I'll stop here. Let's see anybody has any questions or comments.
Hello, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
My question is actually a bit, I don't know, means it is right or not, but Krishna is very saral, right? So why we want to understand the complexity of Krishna? He is so saral, मतलब he is so easy, right? So वो जब इतने मतलब वो खुद जब इतने सरल हैं तो उनको इतना कॉम्प्लेक्स करके क्यों सोचना कि वो ऐसे हैं वो ऐसे हैं, वो तो बहुत ही मतलब वो तो उतने कोमल, आपने खुद ही बोला कि वो बहुत ही कोमल है हृदय। तो इज इट ऑलवेज मतलब क्या जरूरी है क्या हम उनको इतना मतलब इतना कॉम्प्लेक्स कर दें ताकि उनके साथ जो एक कनेक्शन होता है वो ना हो पाए? हमें तो बहुत सरलता से उनको लेना चाहिए ना, और क्योंकि मैं मानती हूँ कि वो बहुत जो वो है वो कोई नहीं हो सकता, बट है तो वो बहुत सरल ना, वो तो किसी के लिए किसी के लिए वो मतलब अगर आप भाव से करते हैं तो वो किसी के लिए कुछ भी करने के लिए रेडी होते हैं। तो फिर इतना क्यों कॉम्प्लेक्स करना? एंड पता नहीं।
Well, Krishna is simple for simple people like you, but he is complex for the complicated people like me. He reciprocates according to the mood of the person approaching him. But this is the beginning of Shrimad Bhagavatam. And Shukdev Goswami and Sud Goswami, obviously, he's speaking, Sud Goswami is speaking here right now. They wanted to make sure that the reader understand first the opulence of Krishna before going to the 10th canto where the sweet pastimes of Krishna are described. Why? So we don't misunderstand him. Because people generally just go to the 10th canto and especially the chapters where Krishna's dealing with the gopis are described. So then they misunderstand position of Krishna. But those who have understood Krishna or those who have really developed love for Krishna, for them he is very sweet, very simple actually. But since we are trying to study Bhagavatam from the very beginning, um, so we have to understand first the opulences of Krishna, and then we can get to the sweetness of Krishna.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Anta. Any other question or comment?
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Subhu Prabhu.
Sorry, I think somebody else is asking.
It's Vinay, Prabhuji.
Yeah, let him go.
Oh, yes, Vinay Prabhu, sorry.
Just Prabhuji, like when you were discussing about lotus feet of Lord Krishna, one small story has come in my mind. That is about there was a competition between Lord Shiva and Brahma on who is superior, and they come close to. I mean, they were not able to find out who was superior, so came close to Vishnu, Lord Vishnu, and they asked that how do we find out who is superior between us? This was a question from Brahma. So Lord Vishnu has instructed both of them to go ahead and find the top and bottom of the lotus, uh, basically. So I think Shiva did perform that duty quite well. I think I don't know which way they went, but for the top and the bottom of the lotus, they went and they found. But Brahma actually didn't do this job honestly. He returned back from the middle of the way and he said that I have found the end of the lotus. I think the lotus feet or the flower itself. So that's where Lord Vishnu said that I think Brahma you had lied, and Lord Shiva has actually found the end of it. So he is superior to it, and that's the reason people say that Brahma was not worshipped in. And you see, there is only one temple in India for Lord Brahma. That's in Pushkar somewhere. So my question here that is that like you also mentioned, is that the origination of Lord Vishnu is from lotus itself, and that's the reason Lord Vishnu instructed Lord Shiva and Brahma to find the end of it, both the ends of the lotus, so that they will come to know about Lord Vishnu from end to end.
Well, actually, I have not heard of this story. Moreover, if they were going to find out the lotus that you're referring to is lotus stem that comes out of the navel of Garbhodaksha Vishnu, and the lotus flower on top of it, on which Brahmaji sits. And in
That's
the
the one.
beginning, of creation, before the creation, in fact, Brahmaji did go all the way down to the abdomen of Lord Vishnu, to the navel of Lord Vishnu, and then came back up, and he then sat down on the lotus flower and started meditating because he could not understand. Even though he went all the way down to the navel, but he was not entitled that time, so he could not understand where he was. But the particular pastime you are explaining, I have somehow never heard of it.
Hmm.
So maybe if I find out more about it, then I can discuss more.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu. Yes, Subha Prabhu, you're
Yeah, Hare Krishna
doing
Prabhu.
some comment. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, a slight confusion regarding the purport where Prabhupada mentions that the Lord is merciful even to the woman, as if, and also mentions at a couple of places, uh, I don't know whether I'm understood correctly, as lack of intelligence or somewhere compared to men. Whereas if you look at our traditional Hindu goddess, the goddess of Medha is goddess Saraswati. So from the purport, obviously you got Radha, who is the epitome of bhakti, but at the same time, intelligence is also, we have got so many examples of intelligence being attributed to the goddesses. I don't know, in one place, I think in Viveka Chudamani by Adi Shankara, he had mentioned that if it would be a pity if we are born in earth, and more so born as human being, and more so born as men, and do not go for moksha. There he has explained that it is only the women who experience so much of obstacle in life, compared to the woman's body has more obstacles than the men. So that is the reason why the path to moksha for them is fraught with slightly more danger than men. That's why I think devotional service is more important to them. But at no point has been suggested, there is a suggestion of intelligence being an issue. Could you throw some light on it?
Thank you, Prabhu, because that's why I shaved my head. So if in the class I have to discuss this topic, then I am protected. So no ladies will pull out all my hair.
I know
Actually, this comes from.
give that portion.
Actually, in Bhagavad Gita 9:32, Krishna says, "O son of Partha, those who take shelter in me, though they be of lower birth, women, Vaishya, and Shudra, can attain the supreme destination." It does. Okay, first of all, we have to understand. In Kali Yuga, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, "Kalo Shudra Sambhava." Everybody is a Shudra. So anybody, we could be born, or we could have the male form, and we could have big titles behind our name, like Dvivedi, Trivedi, or some whatever Brahmanical titles, but we are not actually Brahmins. We all are Shudras. So in that respect, we all fall in the same category. And the ladies that you mentioned, they're not ordinary ladies we are talking. Radharani, Saraswati, Lakshmi, Durga, they're not ordinary ladies. We cannot compare them. And Queen Kunti herself, she's saying, I'm a woman, but look at the prayers of Queen Kunti. Even big acharyas cannot pray like that. So a devotee and a general person, they are two different categories. So here it's talking about general women in general, not devotees. Vaishnavi is totally different. She is in a different category. She is beyond this bodily concept of life. But in general, the difference between women and men Now, whatever men, they are Shudras or Vaishyas, whatever we want to call them, the difference is there in psychophysical nature. That difference is there. Women tend to think more from the heart, men tend to think more from the brains. Some exceptions are always there, but this is a general difference. It doesn't mean women are lower because they're thinking from the heart. They're more emotional. They're more like tend to do things emotionally. Men tend to do things more rationally by the brains. It's just a difference. It's not anything superior or inferior. And that's why Prabhupada is mentioned. No? Women in general, they're more assembled in these religious places because they can easily take shelter of the Supreme Lord. Men, on the other hand, they'll try to figure out by the logic, by the little bitty brain power, if he's really God or not. But ladies do that. They take it up easily. So bhakti process is very easy for ladies to take up. Men like to get more into analytical study or the jnana or this or that. And then finally they try to come to bhakti. So intelligent, yes, even the science, I think somewhere I read less brain power in women, yes, but strong heart, strong emotionally. So that's definitely a plus point.
So thank you. Hare Krishna.
Is
Sorry
that
to put you in between. Yeah, yeah. Thank you.
n- no, these are points actually I have collected from Prabhupada's books only. I don't have anything of my own.
So it's not lack of intelligence, but the fact that one predominates over the other. So the heart predominates the head. So it's not the lack of
Yes.
yeah. Hare Krishna.
Lack of brain intelligence, but heart love is there. That is more in women. I mean, that love thing is not in men's body or men's psychological thing. The love is not there that much as in ladies. That's why kids, who can take care of the babies better, men or women? Obviously, ladies. And who says they are not stronger? I mean, strong doesn't mean physical strength. Another um, categorization of strength, another benchmark of strength is how much pain one can endure. And there is no bigger pain than giving birth to a child. And women do endure that. Men cannot do that. And they do that birth after birth. So many kids they give birth to. Of course, Prabhupada in one purport in Bhagavatam, he says, once ladies give birth to one child, then she says, no more giving birth again. But then again, she gives birth to more and more babies. She can endure that pain, not men. So I'm pretty sure all the Matajis are very happy with me now. And whenever I come back to India, I'll get nice feast.
Yes, Prabhuji. Pratibha is nodding.
Quick question again. Yeah.
What's that?
Guruji, once again, one quick question. Uh,
Yes.
it's not basically a question. It's about the question which I asked on lotus feet. That was told long time back by my mother. So I was just confirmed. I was clear to her. So I've confirmed this where she has found this story on this competition which was going among in between Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma, and she confirmed it's mentioned in Vishnu Puran and Shiv Puran in both the books. It's clearly mentioned there. So if you come across any such thing, please give some highlight on that in some other time.
Okay, okay. As I said, my knowledge is very limited, so I haven't read that story. So that's why I could not comment on that. So I guess we can stop here now. You all have a wonderful day, thinking about different aspects of Krishna. Hare Krishna, everybody. Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna.